Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 Ford Maverick. This is an XLT. It's finished off in Atlas Blue Metallic with an MSRP just over $30,000. Now this is powered by the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic, pumping out 250 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the all-wheel drive system, propelling this 3,700 pound pickup from 0 to 60 in around 6 seconds. It has a top speed of 110 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 16.5 gallons. You'll expect to see around 22 miles per gallon in the city, 29 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 121.1 inches. Its overall length is 199.7. It has a width of 72.6, a height of 68.7, and its ground clearance measures in at 8.7 inches. Before we move on to the exterior styling, the Ford Maverick has been out for a few years now, and this is the smallest pickup truck in the Ford lineup. So if you're looking for a vehicle that's going to ride more like an SUV, but still gives you that practical bed space and a better fuel economy, this is a great option to go with. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling now, you'll notice the Ford badge right in the middle, along with a lot of gray accents surrounding that. So for the entire grille with all of the cutouts, along with the horizontal bar that's integrated into the turn signals. So it wraps around the turn signals with the rest of the headlight housing surrounding that, with the triple beam design in the lower section and then DRLs in the upper section, which is a really nice integration. The lower section of the bumper has a lot more cutouts with active grille shutters and then a tow hook on both sides, with the entire lower section being plastic. And then there's also some nice lines that come down the hood to give it more of the full-size truck vibes with its similar design. Now for this XLT, this has a set of 17-inch wheels that are finished off in gloss black. And you'll notice too that there's no actual fender flares for this model. There's the indentations just above the tire to give it a really nice look. There's the XLT badge. Side mirrors are finished off in gloss black. And then there's more plastic in the lower side skirt that mimics the front bumper as well as the back of the side of the bed there. There's also a black for the door handles too. It's a very low SUV or pickup truck with its height there. And then you'll notice too that it does have the solid continuation to the bed. So it doesn't have a separate bed from the cab like its larger siblings do. And then you'll notice the FX4 badge on the side of the bed. And in the back, Maverick is stamped in the lower section. There's the taillights on both sides, of course. When properly equipped, this can tow right around 4,000 pounds. And then this does have remote start. Even though we do have the turnkey for this model, we do not have a smart key. You can lock it and start it up as needed, and then you can double tap that to shut it off as well. Now, as we work our way to the bed, this doesn't have a soft open tailgate, so you do have to open that, of course, by yourself. But we do get the spray-in bed liner. There's some storage on one side. There's an auxiliary and cargo light on the other, as well as some tie-down hooks so you can put in some items in the back. And you can place some tools or any items in these indentations in the back if you are using this as a work truck. The tailgate is also very lightweight, so that is easy to close. And then as we work our way to the back seats, you'll notice the two-tone design for the door panel, as well as this floating design for the grab handle. It has orange accents on it. And the reason for that split there is that you can actually fit in some taller drinks on that side. You have a little bit shorter of an area for the right side there. So it is functional in that use. And then there's the two-tone design for these back seats with more of the orange stitching. Now, you can also flip up this entire bottom, and that is going to give you a lot more space. So you can lock that into place and fit in several items in the back. You'll notice too that there's also a QR code for the flex bed options. So you can actually scan that and get some ideas for accessories that you can buy. There's one over on that passenger side there. So if you've never owned a pickup truck before, or if you're looking for a bike rack or something like that, you can actually get some ideas using those codes. Now, as far as the room goes in the back at 5'10", I have this seat a little bit farther back, but I still have plenty of room. There's also auxiliaries right in the middle. And then headroom is really where it's at. I have 4 inches above my head, so you can be taller than me in this smaller truck, which is impressive to see. Right in the middle, there's the armrest with 2 cup holders, and then this model has a solid window in the back. So there's no middle section that opens up. There's also speakers located above the seat belts there. So honestly, for its size and how small this roofline is, they did a great job with the interior space. Now, one thing that I do want to mention and come back to is with the remote start, let's start it up. Since we do have a turn key, we don't have a smart key, it still remains on when you open the door, so that is cool. But I've never done this with a turn key before. Let's just put the key in, and we are ready to go. So it will not shut off when you start it off in the mornings, which is awesome to see. Now, as we take a look at the door panel up front, same design. However, there's the side mirror controls, window adjustments, and then even more storage in the lower section. And then you do get an automatic driver's seat, and you do have to step over this door sill. So it's very similar to an SUV as far as getting into this. And then we have leather on the steering wheel, cruise control on this left side, along with volume. Right side, there's Bluetooth and voice commands, and then a few controls for the gauge cluster. But let's fire this back up with the turn key. And we can go over this gauge cluster now, where the tach is on the left side, miles per hour is on the right side. And then by using these controls, we can go through a little bit of information within the top of that LCD screen. You can also get to menu, where now you can go to your display setup, and you can actually decide what you would like to see and have pulled up. And then you have select screens, which is another option, basically your configurability. Then there's audio, phone, and settings. So not a ton of info, but it gives you enough to go through. Now on this left side, there is a trailer braking system, the headlight adjustments, cargo light in the back, really cool accent that you saw on the door panel that surrounds the air vents with more of the orange stitching. There's a little bit of storage up top, and then this has a very simple infotainment system. There's a little bit of storage on this right side, which I'm not exactly sure what you would fit there, but for the infotainment itself, you have audio, phone, you have 2 apps, and then you have some general settings to go into to configure this as needed. So pretty simple, easy to use. The home screen is going to have the split design there for your audio and your phone. Now there's power and volume as well as tuning. You do have a few different settings for that infotainment system, depending on what you'd like to see, more audio adjustments. And then below that, we have a single zone. So fan speeds on one side, temperature dial is on the other. You won't actually see the temperature down below. It is going to appear on the infotainment system. And then you have where you'd like the air to go, even heated seats and a heated steering wheel. There's some auxiliaries down below and plenty of storage for your phone or other items. 2 cup holders on the passenger side. And then this is the selector to put the vehicle into reverse. So twist it once clockwise, and this will give you 2 angles for that backup camera. There's also drive and then a low range gear right in the middle. Behind that, there's the e-brake, as well as a few different driving modes that you can go through. So there's normal, along with tow and haul. There's slippery, mud and ruts, sand, and then we're back to normal. Now, being all-wheel drive, this doesn't actually have a 4-wheel drive selector, so when you put it into the correct mode, like mud and ruts, it's going to modulate where the power needs to be sent. Now, right in the middle, this is traction control. There's the auto hold for the e-brake, as well as the downhill assist control, the engine start-stop. 2 more storage bins, and then there's a little bit of storage in the armrest, as well as in the glove box too. And then up top, there is a sunglass holder, and then you have the dome lights. And as far as visibility goes, it's a small truck, and you have massive windows on both sides. So you really don't have any blind spots over either shoulder. As we set off now behind the wheel for the Ford Maverick, I've had this for about a week, and honestly, I think this is a really cool, smaller size truck. I am not used to something that is this small, but if you live in the city, if you need the capabilities of a pickup truck, but you're not looking for a large truck, even though this is smaller than a mid-size pickup truck, I think it still offers a good bit. You have the open bed to put in large items that may not fit in an SUV, like bicycles, motorcycles, something like that. But you also get the refinements of this being more like an SUV. A lot of pickup trucks have become more smooth in today's market. However, this rides and drives like an SUV, so it is going to be a little bit smoother. And even out on the highway cruising, there's really no road noise, wind noise. For what it is, it's a really nice, more economical size pickup, and I haven't had any issues with it. It's got a good bit of power. You can also opt for the hybrid engine as well, so there's 2 different engine options depending on what suits you best, as well as how that's going to affect your towing capabilities. for this. So a maximum of 4,000 pounds is pretty respectable. You're probably looking to realistically tow 2,500 to 3,000, just given the size of this truck and what it has. Maybe you can beef up the suspension to really get to that maximum towing. For its $30,000 price tag, that is significantly less than even mid-size trucks, and of course full-size trucks are getting well into the $60,000, $70,000 range. So for half the price, obviously it's half the truck or a third of the truck really, but for 30 grand, it's kind of hard to go wrong with this for what it is for a brand new vehicle. And even out on the highway, let's give it some gas here. Doesn't have quite that grunt that, you know, some of the V6 and V engines are going to have, but we were able to pass that truck behind us there pretty decently with the power that it has. And it's comfy. I really, like I said, I haven't had any concerns with it driving it for the last several days. Just aside from it is low. It's a little lower than I'm used to as far as a pickup truck goes, but this might be for someone who maybe has never owned a pickup truck. You want an SUV, but you need that bed space, so I can see it being a good market for someone who's never owned a truck before. This is something that you can drive like an SUV, so it's not going to be overwhelming to drive or to park. It is going to be longer than an SUV, of course, but it's something that is very, very close and similar, that it would be more of a cross to go to than going up to a midsize or a full-size truck. And with an acceleration, here we go. I will say, with the turbo engine and the amount of torque that this has, this is a quick, smaller size truck. I would definitely opt for this engine, especially with the power that's available. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Ford Maverick. And honestly, like I've said, it's been a really nice truck. Very, very basic, however, but for the price point too, especially when you compare it to other vehicles today, there's nothing really cheap about it. It just doesn't have quite as much technology as something more expensive. And obviously for the price point, you are still getting a very nice vehicle and something that you can of course daily drive and just feel comfortable with being behind the wheel. Now, as far as seating and everything goes, I'm honestly blown away with the amount of space that this has for being smaller than a mid-size truck. It feels like it even has more interior space. So for its size, it doesn't feel too confined or too restricting for what it is. But it's so smooth, highway speeds, parking lot speeds. It's a very nice vehicle all around to drive. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2024 Ford Maverick. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.